into the wilds of the Hang with Thomas Christ.
Hey, everybody. Oh, man. What was that? What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Hang, where we're gonna just hang out. I guess is the plan here. All right, let's say hello to people we got here in the chat. We got Jade Star. Thank you for sending everybody over here. Great demo of the flute app with the flutter tongue. Usually you have to pay extra for that stuff. Hello, Rebel Rocker. Welcome. Thank you so much for sharing the show out. I appreciate that. Hello, Mark Bro. Great to see you. We got Forrest of the Wolf here. What's going on, Forrest? Good to see you. DJ Big Red, one of our great mods here, letting you know about all the stuff you can do, all the things you can do. And if you do those things, I will really appreciate the heck out of it. All right. We got John Swanson in the house. My lovely wife lurking from downstairs. Hugh Caldwell, great to see you. Core Team 85, so good to see you. Hey, it's Pete from Studio Live today. Good to see you, Pete. I bet Pete especially is relieved that Song Temper is coming to a close. It's been it's always a lot of work. It's always a lot of work. It's a lot of fun, too, but a lot of work. Hey, Michael, a.k.a. Zealand, good to see you. Lilo, welcome. Good to see you. All right. So, I do have a couple of things. I mean, if there's anything that you guys want to talk about, let me know. But, hey, oh, my God, it's Lithium Vandal. Look at this. We got Lithium Vandal in the house. Great to see you. I hope you've been well, man. All right. So, some of you may be aware of this. I don't know how many of you are aware of. Certainly, you're all aware. Did I say hello to Hugh? I hope I did. Hello, Hugh. And John, everybody. So I hope you're all aware, or maybe yeah, I'm sure you all are very, very aware. As people who probably from time to time go to concerts, that the price of concert tickets are rather expensive these days. I don't really go to a lot of shows anymore, and it seems like when I do, I'm shocked at how much the price is more than what it used to be. You're used to like, wow, okay, I'm going to go see this band to be like, what, $80, $70, $50, something like that. And then you go and check the Ticketmaster website and holy shit, it's like $300 to go see a band that I used to go see for like $45. Hello, Chris Lane Sr., welcome. You're like, what has happened? What has changed? What is going on with these ticket prices? Well, there's a little company that I already mentioned the name of, Ticketmaster, that is I like to call them Ticket Bastard. But they have a kind of a monopoly, and there's a whole thing about that, and Live Nation, the conglomerations that happen, and the end result is they can just turn up the gas. Hello, Tremor Bear. You see, they can just turn up the gas on the prices, turn up the prices, and there's nothing really anybody can do about it because there's no competition. So recently, you might think, geez, Jade selling Grandma to see a band live. Sorry, Grandma, your time's up. But yeah, it was a tough decision. Or in Oregon. Your time's up though. We got I gotta go see Linkin Park or something. But anyway, let's check this out. This is what the Ticketmaster CEO had to say about all of this stuff, and you might be surprised by what he's got to say here.
For you, music is a better business, though, than selling tickets for sports, I assume.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. I mean, I think music has been underappreciated. I always joke, sports, it's like a badge of honor to spend $70,000 for a Knicks courtside. they beat me up if we charge $800 for Beyonce, right? So it's a real, it's a very we have a lot of runway left, right? So when you read about the ticket prices going up, it's still, average concert price is $72. Try going to a Laker game for that, and there's 80 of them or whatever the hell. So the concert is underpriced, has been for a long time.
The concert. You hear what he said there. The concert, and it's about, first of all, it's a badge of honor to spend 70 grand for courtside Knicks tickets or whatever. I bet it is for those who can afford to do that. But he says, first of all, where is the average price of $75? They're probably including a bunch of local shows where maybe the tickets are $30 or $40 or something, and then the other artists, the ones that more people want to go see, it's well over $100, and you got to get in pre-sales. If you don't get the pre-sale, then you're paying even more, and then the bots buy them all up, and then you got to buy them second-hand market, and the prices are inflated further. So, what did Mark have to say here? I don't go to concerts much anymore. It's either new music that I don't care for or old bands that can't really do it anymore. It's a sad scene. Yeah, there's a lot of truth to that. Forrest of the Wolf wanted to see Iron Maiden a few years ago, €150. Nah, thanks. Yeah, and I mean, WWE front row seats, almost $40,000. I mostly only go to see tribute bands. So it's going to get to a point where, like, bands are going to be going to see a live concert is going to be like it used to be thing we all did. Now it's going to be another privilege of the 1%, because only they're going to be able to afford it, and the rest of us are SOL. So I don't know. I don't know what the solution to any of this is. I don't know that it's really in our hands. I mean, there certainly, the government could come in and put the screws down and say, okay, you got to split this up, but that's probably not going to happen right at this point in time. So, it's sad to see. It's really sad to see, and it's difficult for music lovers like myself and like you all, that we're kind of pawns in this game, and they really don't give a shit about us. And probably what's going to happen is, based on what he's saying here, I agreed with one thing that he said there. One thing that he said I agreed with. He said at the very beginning, music is underappreciated, and I agree with that. I think that is true. But everything else is pretty much BS. A lot of the time, yes, you hear the music as played in the real band's prime. Yeah. Hey, Dan Ekberg, welcome. Dan will factor into what I'm going to talk about after this, but the singer for the Motley Crue tribute band can still reach that high note. Oh, man. Who wants to see a wrinkly old band, the Rolling Bones, White Snake? Yeah, that is true. But there's young up-and-coming bands. There's these, festivals like, I don't know what people pay to go to Coachella or whatever. They have a lot of, they'll have some legacy bands there, certainly, but they have a lot of new and up-and-coming indie bands and stuff at that, and indie artists, and the prices for that are, like, astronomical. It's, some, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 to go, stand in the desert for 3 days and do that, and then you got to pay for accommodations and things like that, get transportation, getting out there, because who the hell lives there? Nobody lives there. See, a wrinkly old man. we're all turning into wrinkly old people, as the sad fact of it, but hopefully we're doing it gracefully. So that's kind of one thing that's going on. Now I mentioned Dan Ekberg. He brought this to my attention yesterday, and I didn't know this was a thing yet, but it is. So tomorrow on You Rock, we're going to premiere the Hindsight 2020 video, the song that Dan and I did together, and he brought to my attention. Now, you heard Jade did the show a couple weeks ago about all the new features that are going to be rolling out. Hello, Gordon Lee Weaver. Welcome. All the new features that are going to be coming out for YouTube. A lot of cool stuff. a lot of awesome stuff. And I didn't realize, because it's YouTube, and I figured, okay, well, that's going to be, maybe a year in the future, we'll see some of this stuff. But there's some things that are already coming out now. And one of those things is the collaboration feature. And so he was like, oh, hey, we should do the collaboration thing for the song. And I was like, okay, I checked out, he sent me a little video explaining how it works. And it turns out that it's there, and it's really simple. And all you have to do, this is in the stuff for the in the YouTube studio, where you go into the video, you set up your video under the details tab. There's a tab here that says collaboration, and it's got a little new thing next to it. That means it's new. It's not old. It's brand new. And you go in here where it says manage collaborators. I can't remember. I think it always says manage collaborators. I don't remember what it says when you don't have anything set up. But if you go in there, you see we added Dan Ekberg Music as a active collaborator. And all you have to do is you type the name of the channel in there. Like I could bring up, I won't actually do this, but Gordon Lee. And there's look at that. There's Gordon Lee Weaver. And if I click on him, and it'll give me an invite link. And then what I do is I send the link over to Gordon via email or messaging or whatever. And then you can add whoever as a collaborator on the video. And what I assume will happen, and we'll have to wait and see tomorrow after the video premieres on URock, when I make this public, I'm assuming it probably is going to show up on Dan's channel as well. I'm not 100% sure of that, but I think that's how that's going to work. And then you can actually go in here and like manage, and all you really have control over is whether they can see the analytics. I said he can see the analytics because it doesn't give you revenue information, anything like that. And there's not going to be any of that really anyway. So there you go. That's all you have to do. And I think let's find out a little bit more information about this. So we'll look up YouTube collaboration, and we'll just find out. All right, here's a little thingy about it. YouTube experiments with new display of collaborators on clips. I think this is probably what we're talking about. YouTube's testing a new option that will enable creators to add collaborators to the video title display in order to help showcase a broader range of creators across its clips. As you can see in this example from the latest video posted by Mr. Beast, I don't know, a lot of people probably haven't heard of him. He's kind of underground on the YouTube scene. Just he's getting his name out there. I saw candy branded with his branding at the supermarket the last time I was there on Friday. Yeah, so word is getting out about his channel, and I think that's a good thing. Pete says, it's an interesting idea. Note that revenue and views still go to the host channel. Yeah, that's probably good to point that out. As you can see in this example, the new option will display collaborators on a video, both via their channel avatars, which will be stacked alongside each other and within the creator listing beneath the title. Tap on the and 3 more tag, and you'll get a full listing of the channels that have collaborated on the clip. The option is similar to the collaborative tools available on Instagram or TikTok, providing a simple way to showcase a partner profile within the video description, which could be a valuable connector and promotional tool, providing a more direct link through to collaborating channels, which could see more traffic headed their way, especially if they collaborate with a bigger channel. It's worth noting, however, that YouTube has been encouraging creator collaborations for years with its YouTube Academy training resource. I've never even heard of that. I'll be honest with you, including a whole segment on collaborating with others and how to do so effectively. And then they give you this one here. So collaborations in themselves are not new, but YouTube's looking for a better way to highlight these partnerships within the content itself so that creators get equal share of the benefits from their shared clips. Okay, yeah. And it's a logical, simple way to do this, which people are already used to in other apps. As such, this seems very likely to be expanded to all YouTube channels in the near future. And seeing this is from August 3rd, that's exactly what has happened. So now you you have the ability to do this, and this is from 8 days ago. Okay, so this is going to be even more up to date on this whole thing. What is YouTube Collaborations? YouTube Collaborations is a feature that lets you showcase up to 5 creators. Okay, so there are some parameters. You can only have 5 creators on each video. Their names and subscribe buttons appear under the video so viewers can easily follow everyone involved. The video isn't just on your channel, it also lands in your collaborators' subscription feeds. Okay, so I guess it doesn't actually go to the other channel, but it goes into their subscription feeds. Again, we'll have to really see about that. But that's the game changer. You're not just reaching your own audience, you're instantly placed in front of theirs too. Here's the exact process step by step. You go to YouTube Studio. So this is kind of what I was describing earlier. Start uploading a video or short. On the details page, click Show More, invite a collaborator. Search for the channel you want to add. Decide if you want to grant analytics view access. That's what I was showing with the example with Dan. And click Create Link. Share that with your collaborator. We did that. And then after the video is uploaded, collaborators accept the invite through that link. Once accepted, the video displays all channels involved with each. The video displays all channels involved, each with its own subscribe button. And managing your collaborations, you can go from the 3-dot menu, reshare the invite link. You can manage analytics access, remove a collaborator. So there's not a lot you can do with this yet, but I have a feeling they're going to be continuing to work on this and adding more features. Important, you keep full ownership. So this is what Pete was talking about. Only you can edit or delete the video, and all revenue, views, and watch time are yours. Okay. Pete says Mr. Beast receives 14,000 collaboration requests per hour. He probably does, and he probably doesn't pay much attention to it either. So featuring collaborations on your channel homepage, go to YouTube Studio Customization, click Add Section Collaborations. Now, anyone visiting your channel will see your collab section highlighted. So I guess there's going to be like a collaborations tab. Is that what's going to happen? I think that's how that works. Max of 5 collaborators per video. Paid promotions. If your video includes a sponsorship, you must check the paid promotions box. That's always been the case. Analytics sharing, you choose whether collaborators can see video analytics. Discoverability boost. Videos can appear in recommendations for your collaborators' audiences too. So that's another good thing with it. Why collaboration? So let's get here and why they're saying that this is a good thing to do. Despite some of the limitations of it. Here's what this really means for creators. New audience exposure. If your collaborator has 50,000 subs, your video now appears in their subs feed. Well, I don't have to worry about... Unless I do a collaboration with Pete, I'll probably not have to worry about that one too much. But stronger community ties. Collabs show YouTube your channel is connected to others, which may increase recommendation signals. And subscriber funnel. Built-in subscribe buttons make it frictionless for viewers to follow. And we don't like friction. We don't like friction. So think of it as cross-pollination. The more you collaborate, the more you're introduced to fresh audiences. And this is kind of what's been happening on YouTube for a long time. You know, why people go on other people's channels and stuff. It just kind of makes it a little more official when you do it. Smart ways to use YouTube collaboration. So niche partnerships, work with creators in your niche so the audiences automatically overlap. Big, small collabs. Smaller creators can collab with bigger ones for exposure, while big creators get fresh energy and ideas. I like that. Series format. Build recurring collabs. Although with this one here, I just wonder about this. Like, you're going to be relying, I guess, on the generosity of the bigger channel to want to help out the smaller channel. So hopefully they'll be willing to do that. Series format. Build recurring collabs, weekly shorts, Q&As, challenges. So viewers expect and subscribed. And then events. Cover the same event, conference, game, product launch from different angles and with multiple creators. So that's also an exciting thing. And it's not just a feature; it's a growth strategy. I like that little bit of marketing lingo in there. The creators who learn to use them early will dominate. If you want to grow faster in 2025, stop uploading videos alone. Start collaborating. All right. So there you go. It is a new feature. It is out. I'm excited that they dropped this so quickly. But really appreciate that from YouTube, and I look forward to seeing where this is going to go in the future, and how this will evolve, because I figure this is just a starting point for this. They're gonna probably expand on this, I would think, and as far as I know, I think you can use this for live streams as well. So there's a lot of possibilities. There's a lot of possibilities with this. What about the work in progress remix? Can you go back and change it for past videos? Well, yeah, I was thinking about that. I did a collaboration with Lithium Vandal before, so I could probably go and add Lithium Vandal on that one. So yeah, as far as I know, if you got a video that's, because what had happened was I already had the video uploaded, and then he emailed me and told me about that this feature was out, and I was kind of thinking, oh no, what if I can't do it because I already uploaded it? But it was already uploaded, and I was able to add him in there, so no problem at all. So I would assume if you can do that, in that case, you can probably do it with ones you've done a long time ago, But that'll be up to you to decide if that's something that you want to do. So just a reminder, we do have URock coming up tomorrow. There's still some limited room to get into the show. I'll probably leave the form up for a little bit longer. Now, what's gonna happen? And you guys are getting like the if the first kind of real knowledge about things that are going to be happening. So we are going to be making the change after this week to URock TV. And so what's going to happen is this form, bit.ly/URock submit. DJ is going to have to update the link because this form is going to close. But you will be, I'm going to leave that active for a little while. So you'll be able to get there and there'll be a link to go to the right place. When the right place is going to be in the future, I'll put this in here. It's going to be urock.thomaschrist.net. And we probably need that at the beginning. There we go. So, what I'd be curious if anybody would be interested in doing so, if anybody wants to submit a song for October 8th, and while we're doing this stream, you can go to urock.thomaschrist.net. That'll redirect you to the new URock TV form. It's already up on the website as well, thomaschrist.net. So, if you want to go there. But if anybody wants to try to upload a video and see how it works, because nobody's up. I did tell one other person about it, and I haven't gotten that one yet. So if anybody wants to try it out, and you'll get kind of first dibs on being on URock TV next week. So let me know if you're gonna do that. Let me know here in the chat, and then we can kind of make sure this thing is gonna work in real time. Now, don't forget, you do have to have the video available. It's got to be 1080p widescreen, preferably widescreen. We can do vertical if we have to, but yeah, go ahead and give it a shot, and let me know if it works out for you. If you have any issues, because I want to make sure we get this nice and smooth and as quickly as possible. But there's going to be growing pains with this. I know there will be. So let me know what your experience is. Oh, Michael's doing it. All right, we got a taker. Good. I actually have a lot I got to get done tonight with regards to that, and get some things started. Hugh's going to do something awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Really appreciate it. So let me know how that process works for you, and Got the song Timber song I mentioned with while we wait on that. Got the song Timber song up on Bandcamp, and should be out, I believe, because Dan was handling the kind of DistroKid side of it, so it should be available on maybe some of the streaming services. I know it's some of the other streaming services like Deezer and Tidal and stuff. I think sometimes take a little while, but usually like Amazon Music, Apple Music, YouTube Music, and Spotify are pretty quick, so they're probably available there. In fact, let me check and see. Let's find out in real time. Music.youtube.com. All right, here we go. Let's see, Thomas. Let's look up Dan Ekberg. I'll probably find it. Oh, there he is, and I saw it. There it is, right there. So it is out. It is available on at least on YouTube Music. It definitely is. So you can get that, but it's also on my Bandcamp page, which is thomaschrist.bandcamp.com. And tomorrow we'll see the video, which let me tell you, it's a wild one. Mark has 2 unlisted videos waiting. My song Timber song maybe premiere tomorrow. I hope so. Do I have that? And my Music for Life video waiting on the album release. Yeah. And I got to get to work on that one next. So there you go. There's the Bandcamp page. I had to do it as an album. So I went to do it at first. This is a little tip for you. If you want to do something as a pre-release on Bandcamp for whatever reason, and I probably knew this and forgot about it, you have to do it as an album. Oh, you did send it to me. Okay, well then it will be. It will definitely be. But if you want to do it as if you want to do a pre-release of a single, you have to do it as an album. That sounds counterintuitive because it is. But it's just one of the little quirks of Bandcamp, where you can't do a single track. As far as I could see, I looked everywhere I could look, and you couldn't do it as a pre-release. But you could do it as a pre-release if you released it as an album, even though an album with 1 track. Okay. Oh, there you go. Jade Star just did the collab feature with Liz Day. Right on. So yeah. I don't know why Bandcamp won't let you just do singles as pre-releases, but they don't seem to let you do that. So, she accepted, but it ain't showing up for the premiere. I assume it will show up on her channel after the premiere. See, that's what we got to just do this stuff and figure it out. That's kind of the only way we're going to be able to learn what all is possible. It wouldn't allow you to submit. See, that's a problem. That's not good. Did you fill in all the things? You do have to upload the actual video. Okay, we got Zealand, and Michael, aka Zealand, has sent in the song, and it looks to be there. So you see, yep. So it does appear to be working. So we got one response in. So that is good to see. All right. Yep. Fuck around and find out. That's about it. I don't have access to the actual. See, yeah, that's going to be the thing. You got to have the video. Because what I'm going to be doing is putting the shows together where I get all the videos. It's going to be kind of like a big video with all the videos in it, and then there'll be clips of me introducing the videos and stuff like that. I think it's going to be really cool. I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. But we will have to work through some of these little kinks and stuff. And if you got a video that you really don't have the ability to get, like, if you email me, I might be able to pull it off of YouTube. I still vote for a show where you pick an artist, dedicate the show. Yeah, that's a possibility. But I'm trying to keep with the spirit of what you rock is, and if I had more time, I would be doing stuff like that probably as well. So how's everyone doing with their? Are we all done with the Songtember songs? If you're tembering a song, I hope you are. My videos are on my Mac, but I use iPad for watching stuff. I'll try it later. Okay, cool. So yeah, I hope you're all either, like, I know Tremor Bears had several Songtember songs out. Michael's got his Songtember songs out. Hey, Gary Hubbs, welcome. Good to see you. And let's see. Anyone else want to share about their experiences with Songtember this year, good or bad? That's all, it's all valid. It's all valid. Got the Friday link. There you go. All right. So let me know and if you got anything to share about Songtember. Yeah. I understand that, and all feedback is good feedback. You know what I mean? So I love to hear what people think, and because otherwise I'm just throwing stuff out there and seeing what sticks. And yeah, super chat, super stickers, always welcome, of course. Hello, Jovel, good to see you. It looks like it will premiere on my channel, and then after the premiere will be available afterwards. Okay, so that's good. That's good to know too, as well. So your video uploaded. All right. Yep, we got 2 submissions, so that is great to see. Looks like this thing is gonna do its magic. That is excellent. All right. Google Forms for the win again. It is great. It is good. They've really made some great improvements with that too. And yes, get your official Songtember submissions. While I'm happy to play them on the U Rock show, but the official place to send them in is studiolivetoday.com, YMLST. And Pete's got 2 shows set up this weekend, one early and one at the normal time. And so you get to pick on the form, as I understand it. When you send it in, you'll get to pick which show you want it to be on. So there you go. Get them in. And there we go. There's the October 8th submissions. So it's gonna be a lot of work. I think initially it's gonna be a lot of work, and then once I get into a swing of how this is gonna come together, I think I'll be able to streamline the process. But we keep working on it. I still got to do a video for me. I still have to do a video for FAI, which is the official title of it now is FAI, because I realized, like, having a curse word in the title probably could be a problem. It maybe not, but I'm not going to take the chance. I'm just going to call it FAI. Actually, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not spoiling anything. But I did work on some artwork for it. So, trying to think what else we got for you. What else is interesting in the music realm? That we haven't talked about yet. And by the way, as far as I hope you're digging this show. I just kind of envision this as It's not going to totally take the place of Make It Rock, but I think as a diversion for Make It Rock, when I don't have something that I want to work on, then that could be this could be like a fun little thing that we can do. How many middle fingers? 0 actually. I think you should start your own label. I have an unofficial label. It's not anything real. It's just the label that I put my own stuff out. But if you watch any of my videos, you'll see it's Heart of Stone Records, and that just comes from one of my songs. So, yeah, it could always put somebody out on that label. All right. Let's see what else is interesting. What's popping? Oh yeah, I listened to some of the new Nine Inch Nails Tron soundtrack. That was pretty good. Not a lot of I don't think there's a lot of tracks with vocals. There's actually a young lady who is on some of the tracks on that one, and let me see if I can figure out real quick who that is. Soundtrack. Let's see. Because I know they had it listed somewhere. Let's see. This might be on Wikipedia. Yes. Judeline, who is from Spain, Andalusia, Spain. And I have to laugh at this. This is great. Like she's working with Trent Reznor, Nine Inch Nails, and the only thing it says under her personal life, okay, is in a 2025 interview with People Magazine, Judeline stated that growing up she was the only atheist in her Catholic school. So it kind of it fits. It does fit. She did a great job on that album. I know she's on a couple of the tracks there, and great to have new music from Nine Inch Nails, even if it's a soundtrack. And I think the last song on the album, and some people were saying they think that might be the new single, and I tend to agree. What is the name of that one? Shadow Over Me. That could well be the next. That could very well be the next single from the album, because they already did As Alive As You Need Me to Be, which was cool. I know Shadow Over Me. There's a lot of you probably would expect this on a Tron soundtrack. There's a lot of vocoder and stuff happening. Have you heard any of the new Deftones album? It's meh. No, I haven't. I'm afraid I have not heard that one. I should check it out though. I like Deftones. The song what is that? Change in the House of the Fly. That's a great song. Always great to have new Nin. Yeah, But it is funny, and it goes back to our discussions earlier, how all the original or all the big artists that are out today, it seems like, at least in rock music, they're still the ones that were popular when I was younger. I always think in the back of my mind, like, there is an alternate reality. Okay, just follow me on this train of logic here. There's an alternate reality where Kurt Cobain does not take his own life, and Nirvana is still around, potentially. And I always kind of wonder what that would be like. I know there was some talk toward the end of Kurt's life. He had mentioned a few times that he wanted to do a new wave album, and I kind of I really do think there's a good chance that all of like rock music could be very different if Nirvana had been able to continue further beyond 1994. I like imagine if they had come out, if Nirvana had come out with a new wave album, and they bring in like keyboards and stuff, that could totally change the trajectory of alternative music. They were that influential at the time. Anything they did was gonna like massively influence everybody else. So anything that they did, if they had gone in a direction like that, you would have had a bunch of other bands going in that direction. I wonder if they eventually circle around to doing, because it's not a long leap from, if you do a new wave album, then it probably would have timed up pretty good, where you could see a Nirvana industrial album happening, like around 1998, 99 area. I think that would have been fascinating. And rumor has it the first Foo Fighters album was the next Nirvana album. Yeah, I don't know about that, because what I read about the first Foo Fighters album was literally like Dave Grohl just went into a recording studio by himself, did everything. So the first Foo Fighters album was all Dave Grohl, nobody else involved. And he did that whole album, I think, in like a week. So, is it possible some of those songs were intended to be Nirvana songs at one point? I don't, maybe. But it would have been interesting. People would have screamed solid. Yeah, I mean, the way people were at that point in time, there's a good chance that could have happened eventually. And maybe we wouldn't think of Nirvana in the glowing terms that we think of Nirvana under right now, because that's where I go back and forth on, like, if Nirvana had continued, would they be as big as they were? Was Kirk's tragic demise, did that kind of cement them in a way? Because they were at the peak of their popularity when that happened. Supposedly there's a whole bunch of stuff he did with Michael Stipe that never came out. I'd be very interested to hear that. That I could see, though. I could see that. And that does make sense too, because REM was around. I mean, REM was probably around longer, almost certainly was around longer than Nirvana, because they had some big stuff that was out in like the mid-late 80s. Nirvana, I think, really didn't get started until like the very end of the 80s. And yeah, there's a lot of debate about Courtney Love and what all happened there. There's good questions. I don't think we'll ever know the true answer. Because like if she did that, she's not going to confess to it, and that's not the official narrative. So I think at this point, any evidence that existed is probably destroyed, and it'll be a subject of debate for many, many years to come, and probably long past Courtney Love as well. And Courtney Love, by the way, if you've never heard, I tell people this all the time. If you think you know about Hole, and you think you know about Courtney Love's music, okay, go and do yourself a favor and listen to the first Hole album. It's called Pretty on the Inside. It is amazing. It is one of the best albums I've ever heard. It is not like later Hole. It is very angry. It is very aggressive. It's all the things that I like. And it's very kind of nihilistic in the way that people were nihilistic back in 1991. Kurt's in the 27 Club. Billy Corgan. Billy Corgan was supposedly involved. Billy Corgan it's a funny thing with Billy Corgan. He was supposedly involved in all kinds of things that he's not credited on, and that may be true. I don't know. A lot of people said like he was a ghostwriter for a lot of the stuff on Marilyn Manson's Mechanical Animals. He's not credited on that album, but that's supposedly the thing. But oh, there you go. There's the album. Go and check that one out. Yeah. So Billy Corgan supposedly was involved with writing, and this there may be more substance to this. What was that song? Oh goodness. Celebrity Skin. That's what it was. Supposedly Celebrity Skin. He was involved with. Yeah, there's a lot of things about Billy Corgan, but at the end of the day, I like a lot of his music. Maybe not all of it. I liked what I heard of. There was an album he came out with fairly recently. I think he hadn't maybe put out a Smashing Pumpkins album in a while, and he put out a new Smashing Pumpkins album, and I heard a couple tracks from it, and I was like, he kind of got back to his like old school style. I think it was supposed to be some kind of like maybe a sequel to Melancholy, and I thought what I heard from that was pretty good. Obviously, like Melancholy, Ava Adore is great. I think that Machina was highly underrated album. I mean, the Everlasting Gay is probably one of my favorite tracks by them, but yeah, outside of music, it's a little different. I like he did an interview not too long ago with Rick Beato. Rick Beato is always great to get people on with interviews. He asks good questions, and he really goes in depth. Luna in 1979. I know 1979 is probably one of the ones I like a little bit less. I like the heavier, it's not surprising. I like the heavier stuff. I like Zero. What is that one? It's like XYX or something. I gotta look that. I don't have it up anymore. Anyway. But yeah, Smashing Pumpkins did some good stuff at times. Some of this stuff, like, I've gotten into more in later years. Like, I'd say back in the 90s, I wasn't really a huge Green Day fan, but I've come to appreciate Green Day a lot more than what I did. Yeah, I like the heavier Pumpkins tracks. But then again, I like Ava Adore, which isn't really, it's not super heavy, but it's kind of like he did a little dabble into goth with that one, and so I appreciate it on that level. But yeah, trying to think of like some of the other, another, since we're on the subject, Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison. Yeah, I mean, there's a whole thing with people dying at 27. That doesn't seem to happen anymore. It was just kind of like an old school thing. Yeah. I get it. I feel that way about STP. As I got older, I appreciated them more. Yeah, I feel similarly. I think I like the older STP more than maybe some of the newer stuff that they did. So their first few albums were really good. But yeah, it's coming to appreciate things more, and I think part of it is also like seeing the state of music now, and we were just in a very different place. We were in a very different place in the 90s, in that rock music was pop music. And that's not the case anymore right now. That has been the case probably since like maybe the mid aughts. Sometime in there, it kind of shifted over to like rap and R&B and what I kind of call the like mono beat or something, where everything kind of sounds the same even though it's supposedly different genres. Like you can have a country song, you can have a rock song, you can have a just a pop song, and they all kind of sound similar. There's not a lot of differentiation. 70s was the best. See, now I'm biased because I come from yeah, that's a good point, Mark, and you're gonna be dumped over there. But yeah, I come from I was born in the early 80s, and I grew up primarily, I do remember the 80s, like the end of the 80s especially, but like the 80s going in the 90s for me are kind of like the pinnacle, because that to me seemed to be like where music got its most out there and most experimental and weird. There's stuff I look at and I think, my God, this was popular in the 90s. And I'm like, there is no other time in the history of music that this could have been popular. Like if it was out today, it would be like, there are bands that were huge in the 90s, gigantic, selling out arenas, that if they were making the same music right now today, they would just be like on Bandcamp with, a few hundred followers, a few thousand maybe. Japanese rock music is doing fine. Well, that's good. 70s. See, I think it really depends on. See, I just think of the 70s. I think I wasn't around in the 70s, but I think of the 70s as a very brown time. Everything was brown, because we were still coming out. This is my funny thing about world history. See, everything was in black and white until the end of the 1960s, and then they invented color, and they were like, "Oh, we can do some things in color," but the only color they had was brown. So everything was brown and like olive green in the 70s, and that carried over a bit into the 80s, and then we got more colors. Toward the end of the 80s into the 90s, we got a lot of primary color, bright colors, and then we kind of went into full like HD. Going from into the 2000s. So, when you look at the world through that lens, but I don't know, like 70s music, it just always seemed to me to be like, I mean, obviously there's great stuff. We just lost Ozzy Osbourne. And Ozzy got his start in the late 60s, but I don't think too many people knew him at that time. I think it was around, 1970 that, the Paranoid album came out and changed music forever, made it okay to be, first of all, kind of really setting the groundwork for metal music, but also making it okay to be like really dark and really kind of, playing with evil themes and stuff. And that became the backbone of, along with the Alice Cooper and stuff came along, and so many other bands, Iron Maiden, things like that. But that really set that groundwork for what metal music was, and that came in the 70s, so that was great. But it seemed like a lot of the 70s was like this prog rock stuff, which I appreciate on a musical level. I really do. But I feel like some of it was just like, my goodness, do we need a 20-minute song with like a 15-minute, B3 organ solo and a synthesizer solo and, and a 20-minute drum solo? It just seemed like there was a lot of excess and a lot of like, just, hey, look what I can do. And it was all new then. It was all new and exciting because nobody had done that before. But, it was a lot. It was a bit show offy, and I appreciate that. These are guys who got into bands that like, probably started out in the music conservatory, and then went to music. So they had a real musical, like serious musical background. And then in the 90s, I think that started to change in the 80s. And the synthesizer kind of helped with that a little bit. And then you got into the 90s, and it was like guys who barely knew 3 chords, but they were expressing themselves in ways and visceral ways that had never been done before. And sometimes it was really dark. Sometimes it was silly. Sometimes it was just absurd. But that's kind of what the 90s was about. And I really just relate to that in a real way. And even in the mainstream stuff, like some of the stuff was very, different, Lithium Vandal says, 90s is when my love for electronic music was born. Actually 80s with some German industrial, but when the Prodigy and Crystal Method popped up, it became an obsession. And yeah, like in the 90s, I became familiar with that kind of stuff because there was a show called like AMP or something on MTV, and A lot of stuff. My goodness, MTV in its real zenith in the 90s too. That also helped, I think, a lot. But they had a show called like Amp or something like that. And it was on real late at night, and it was like this stuff was this blew my mind. I was like, what, 15, 14 years old, and I'm seeing these videos with just like shapes and these, and this kind of, really like, the electronic hypnotic kind of sound. And was talking in a chat with somebody the other day about Aphex Twin. Aphex Twin came out with Come to Daddy back in the 90s and mid 90s, and like that whole EP was insane, but it was really good. So yeah, Aphex Twin, freaking unbelievable. And yes, please, if you haven't hit the thumbs up button, please do that. Keep in mind, it was just because it wasn't at the forefront doesn't mean that there wasn't an undercurrent and continued to evolve. Serious rock was always part of the landscape. Yeah, definitely. Hey, Vidal, is it just me, or is music past the 2000s not had much stylistic change? Well, that's what I've been saying with this mono beat. Everything kind of sounds the same. That maybe the instrumentation is a little bit different. Maybe they got, so it's country, so we have to have twangy guitars and we have to have, fiddles and stuff in it. But the beat, the rhythm is the same. The rhythm is exactly the same. And the stylistic things are very, very similar. And there's a lot of auto-tune. Joe's Garage is good. Yes. All right. Well, I'm gonna have to wrap things up. This has been a great I hope we can do this again real soon. I'm gonna alternate this with the Make It Rock shows, but I gotta get out of here because Jade Starr is up next. She's doing a members stream, so make sure you're a member there. And I will see you tomorrow for You Rock, and we're gonna do the old-fashioned way one more time. So come and join me for that, and after Leela and Jade tomorrow. And other than that, I thank you so much for the great discussion. It's been awesome. Much love. Take care. Most importantly, keep rocking. And if you're a member, I'll see you over at Jade's. Bye, everyone.